We're here to talk all things New Fear's Eve. It took me a minute to really be able to sit there. Every time I made the mistake, I tried to watch it at work. That never works. And every time I tried to, because I work in apartments. Every time I tried, somebody came in and needed something. So I finally had time, made my wife sit down and watch the movie. And holy shit, I fucking love this movie. It is just so much. It is so much fun to watch and sit down and just. There's so much to it. But I guess let's start with the easy one and how everybody got involved with the project. I mean, we know how PJ got involved with the project. It's his project.
Right. I
But
took a shit on paper, and then that's how the script got.
it's actually our project, but he wrote it. He's not taking all the credit for it.
But you can give me all the credit. That's fine. Eric's still trying to put his diaper on.
You take all the credit, but I mean, I got involved because it's a Blood Moon Pictures film, and it's PJ and our project. I co-directed, I produced, I'm in it. I mean, so that's how I got involved. I mean, I'm with the company, so.
Well, that sounds so dry and professional. I got involved because I read the script and thought it was funny as hell and had a lot of blood in it. And I've seen PJ's earlier work and wanted to, yeah, just work with these guys. And so, yeah, I read the script and I just saw all the potential for it. I just, horror comedies don't, some of them work, but a lot of them don't. And what I liked about the comedy in this one is it is very like raunchy, like, un-PC comedy, which is pretty much where my brain stays most of the time. So I was just like, this is gonna, I know these guys can pull it off, and it's gonna be a really fun movie. So I want to help make it. And then they also let me get killed in it, so that was just an added bonus.
So I showed up to audition for an FBI agent. So I had like a suit. This is my first audition I've ever been on at all. I had a suit because I figured that's what an FBI agent would wear, and a cup of coffee. I brought a prop to the audition because I'd never done this before. So I showed up. I did my thing. I read for a bunch of other parts, and they called me and they were like, "Hey, you were okay at acting." But we auditioned better actors. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Thanks for the call. And he goes, but you're 6'2". Do you want to kill everybody? And I was like, yeah. I want to do that. Yeah. Let's sign me up for that.
That's perfect. That's the best way to get the role of the killer in the movies.
Just be the tall guay.
Jesse makes it sound meaner than it really happened.
No,
he actually did. He did read for multiple parts. I had kind of a look for and a way that the FBI agent that he was auditioning for. He really didn't fit that part because that role is a bit like nerdier and he's kind of autistic-y. So like that Jesse didn't. So we had him read for some other roles. He was great as Brian. The problem we ran into, though, it wasn't that he was only okay. Like, he could have been Brian in the movie, but there is a noticeable age difference between him and Lily. Even if he shaved that beard, it would still look like he just came fresh off the boat from Jeffrey Epstein's island. So we didn't want to go that route, and we decided it would probably be best if he was in a different role. So what happened was we were like, oh, he's tall and he's built bigger, so let's make him the killer because he has an intimidating build. Not that we're intimidated by him. Like, I get that out there. But and then because he did so well in the auditions, like I wanted to give him some kind of a part, so I wrote the role of Ned.
Nice.
Kind of steals a friggin' movie,
Right. What is that?
I don't know.
I didn't know you could do that.
Was that an accident?
You didn't do that? Did I do
No.
that?
I think it's because you did a thumbs up. Do you have some kind of a filter on?
Nope, can't do it again.
Oh, wow.
One time, fellas. One time only.
That was
You,
like
you, you,
fireworks and everything. Holy
I
I'm gonna
know.
have to old guy YouTube how to do that.
I know.
I'm gonna keep
You
trying.
somehow manifested your emotions onto the screen.
And they were beautiful. They were.
It's one
He's just
time.
going to be
One
doing
time.
that for the rest of the episode.
Oh,
Trying to
that's
make
great.
it go again.
You're welcome, Reggie.
Oh,
You're
man.
welcome.
That's great. Um, the the role of the Doctor is it's really cool the way it's presented, just the appearance of the Doctor and the character itself. PJ and Eric, where did that idea come from? How did you manifest that? I mean, it's hard to find. Everything's been done now, it seems like, and so it's hard to find something that's original. And this is so different and really well done. Just the presentation and the character itself. Where did the Doctor come from?
Well, first of all, thank you for saying that. The the conception of the story and the killer and all that goes back to the pandemic days, because this is back in
Hmm.
20, towards the end of 21. So the long and the short of it is the plague doctor was very much in everybody's collective consciousness. So you saw lots of memes on social media. People were dressing up as a plague doctor. So just I'm a big fan of the slasher subgenre. So when it came time to come up with the idea for who the killer is and how he operates, I was like, I wonder why no one's ever really used the look of a plague doctor for a
Yeah.
slasher. And I'm not saying it hasn't done, but like to my knowledge, it hadn't been done. So um, between the idea of a plague doctor and then with my love of true crime, I'm fascinated by Jack the Ripper. And I think Jack the Ripper has a very iconic silhouette. So marrying the two together, that's how the doctor came to be,
Hmm.
the look and everything. And then, of course, what came with that is his MO and how he kills his victims. So he uses medical instruments and things of that nature to off his victims.
Jesse, how much fun was that? How much fun was that role to play?
It was so much fun. Unbelievably fun. Like I didn't really read the script. I just showed up and was like, PJ, what are we doing? How are we killing them today? And he's like, all right, so you take this saw and you're gonna jab it in the back of the head and just start sawing, and then brains will start squirting out or whatever. I'm like, yeah, that's what we're doing. That sounds great.
I can see how you were perfect for the role.
Yeah, pretty much born
And
to play it.
and Eric, working with PJ to help bring the Doctor to life, what was that process like for you?
You're muted, Eric. Oh no, his Zoom is not working.
Hello. Yes.
Oh, there you. Hey,
Hey, there we go.
What's up, guys?
So yeah, working with PJ and everybody to help bring the Doctor to life on screen. What was that process like for you, Eric?
Working with the doctor.
Well, helping bring the Doctor to life,
Well,
and
I mean, honestly, that was PJ's concept on the film when he came up and he showed me the script and told me what the doctor was going to be like. I mean, I think I did like kind of throw out there about getting with BJ Emick, which is a friend of ours that's done some other artwork for us, and PJ gave him the principal concept of what we're looking for, and then he would show us stuff, and PJ would give him an idea, and then he would show us, and then I would give him an idea. And so, I mean, it just came basically from his artwork where we just, and finally, just one day he sent us the right thing. We're like, that's it. That's perfect. And then um, Mr. Cohen out of Louisville was the one that ended up doing the masks. And we'd looked around for other people to do the masks. And his concept and what he was talking about he was going to do was just perfect for what we were wanting. And, you know, PJ and I pieced the outfit together. It was basically still what he was visualizing to do. We took an old coat that we'd used in another film and had a seamstress modify it. And basically, once it got pieced together and got on him, I mean, it was just perfect. It's exactly what I think PJ wanted, and I think it's iconic for what we were looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Um, one
Reggie,
thing I love.
I will say this: if there's ever a guy in a mask that's coming to kill you, really, all you really need to do is kind of like just dip one way or the other. He won't see you at all. Just in case that happens to you in your life.
I mean, that's a good tip. I mean, that is you never know when it's going to happen.
Well, that's unless he's got the fogging issue figured out.
Hmm.
It's funny that he says that because so like right now I'm putting the special features together, and I've already edited all the segments, but I went back through my phone and I found all the pre-production stuff, the pictures of scripts and the process of the mask getting made and all that. And I did come across a 2-minute video from where we went to Sean Cowan is the guy that Eric was talking about who made the mask. And we went over to, I guess it was his parents' house, and we're standing in his garage, and Jesse has the mask on for the first time with the hat and everything. And immediately, and this was before we had put holes and stuff in the beak to allow
Yeah.
air circulation,
The
but
breathing
it
holes.
immediately fogged over. And that's the first thing that Jesse's talking about. He's like, man, I can't see anything. He just keeps waving his hands in front of his face. And that was an issue we had to fix. And we still had some problems with it, but so unless that killer has figured out the fogging problem, then yeah, you should be able to like dip around him. Otherwise, he's going to get you and kill you.
It's great. Jeffrey, your character cracks me up. Just his comebacks to Mr. Dugan and just the I'm not taking any shit from you because I fucking hate you, and I just absolutely love the character. But you're also really known as a producer and a writer. What was it like to step in front of the camera for this movie and for this role? Because it's so good. It's so much fun to watch.
It was a funly written. I'm a writer. Yeah, it was a well written. It was just a fun role, and also getting to act across from Dave Sheridan and Melissa Rose was great.
Mhm.
I studied theater growing up. That's kind of actually what my first passion was. And I went to the American Academy of Dramatic Arts in New York and wanted to be an actor. But this was back in the 90s, and diversity in casting was just not a thing back then. So it was like, I did really well in class, got an agent right away, but the roles were very much like, well, if you can't play, rap or basketball, or if you don't look like could be a pimp, there just weren't any roles for you. So that's what got me into writing. So it's always fun to kind of dip my toe back in the pool. This in particular was a lot of fun because it was just a fun character to play. And, Dave is just so like fun to act across from. And most of the script was like written. There was some ad-libbing going on, so you just rolled with it, which was just a lot of fun. I mean, PJ and Eric just made it the whole set was just a very fun, kind of safe place to like play around, and everybody was having such a good time and was just really kind of excited to be there. So that energy was just infectious.
It shows. It really shows when you're watching the movie. It just like when I'm watching it, I'm thinking like, God, I wonder what it's like in between takes on this set. Because the movie is so outrageous that like if it's that much fun to watch, that means that like it's magic when you're creating it in between takes. Because like in horror, like we're all fucked up person, senses of humor. It's just you
Yeah.
have to be to make a good horror movie. And just like one example is Death by Dildo.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
that scene in itself was hard to get through because filming it, it's like everybody and their grandmother wanted to be there. I mean, for one,
sure.
because they were excited about that kill, but then the other thing was is like Eric and I had to keep getting on to everybody because we only
Yeah.
had technically we had one hero dildo, and then we had the other dildo that was for the actual kill and stuff. And we had to keep getting on to different people because they wanted to play around with it and toss it back. And I think, yeah, that guy right there, Mr. Fireworks, was always he and Jason specifically were like throwing it back and forth to each other, and Eric had to get on to him. It's like, dude, that's the only main hero dildo we have if it breaks. And I mean, I really don't know how fragile dildos truly are. I've never broken one off in my ass, but
we didn't have the opportunity to go grab another one if they did something.
Right. Yeah. So you would think that no one had ever seen a dildo in their life when we filmed that movie. But
there's props laying around all the time, and nobody will touch them. People would not leave that thing alone. I mean, almost PJ I should have had it in a locked box because it was ridiculous the amount of times we had to get on people.
Well, Jason and I thought we had
to one way or another.
We had to throw it back and forth. Jason and I thought we had to throw it back and forth, and get that timed out just right.
Yeah,
so you kind of tossing it like a father and son.
They were method acting. You guys,
they just wanted to grip it and rip it. That's what they were wanting to do.
Yeah,
because it was on. Now we'll say it was kind of a higher end dildo, so it was very smooth, and it had some kind of, it was like self lubricating, and it had this like, I don't know, it was very, I don't know much about dildos.
Doesn't sound like
apparently
you don't know much about
apparently
it.
You do. You said it was a high end because it was smooth.
Sounds like you know.
So apparently you knew a lot about it.
I read the box.
Yeah, sure you did.
But anyway, if anyone wants a gently used dildo, we're gonna probably sell it to help make some money for the second movie.
Oh man.
Yeah, because the place we got it at closed down like 2 months ago.
Well, you couldn't take it back anyway. Oh, you may buy another one.
Yeah, buy another one.
I thought you were talking about taking it back. Yeah, I don't think they take those back.
Look, yeah, I am not taking it back.
They do that. They had a little bargain bin. You threw it in. They give you like 10% off if you brought something back for your next purchase.
That's so great. Oh man,
return.
See, I work in pro wrestling up here in Indiana, and it's the same thing. Get a group of pro wrestlers together to do any video that's remotely funny at all, and they just turn into like a group of 5-year-olds that you would think have never shot a video at all. And it can be so hard to get through a take sometimes because they're just, look, a flamethrower. I want to play with it, Well,
PJ and I actually, when we went to go pick out the dildo, they let us come in and walk around and pick out what we wanted. They also, we took our videographer with us because we thought it would be funny to have her follow us around, and they allowed that. So you're talking about 2 5-year-olds in a porn store, and that'd be PJ and I. And right. So, hopefully there'll maybe be some behind the scenes of that for some people at a later date.
I've got to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm not letting anybody see it. I'm keeping it all for me. It's a personal collection.
But what are some of your guys' other favorite kills from the movie? Because there's some really good ones in this movie, especially the one of the garage with her mom. That one is good. Just again, Jesse, that's probably a good question for you. You did all of them. You killed all of these people. I mean, what were some of your favorite kills to do?
So the one where I used the part from the paper cutter and slashed up his face, it just I could tell from the mask and me throwing my hand and him jutting his head back that we nailed it. You know what I mean? It synced up just right. I threw my arm and then he just went, whoa! And I was like, oh, we nailed it. And then every time I'd kill somebody, I'd look over at PJ, through the mask. And if he's really excited, that means we crushed it. We did a great job. But that one just boom, and synced up right. Oh, it felt real good. There was one where I had to hit somebody in the back with an axe, but they kept moving. They wouldn't stay on their mark. So I'm like, I'm just gonna grab your shoulder and then just pop you on the back with the axe. And it just boom, and it flowed real good too, man. It just felt like it was going to look great, on screen. So I don't know, a couple of them like
You get a
that.
little too excited. That look in your eyes
No,
talking
it's
about the
funny.
kill.
You're like you get this glint in your eye. You're just like,
You're scaring me a little bit. I don't think
no.
we're getting back on set. You're into this too much.
Yep. Perfect for the role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It did it again.
There it is again.
There it goes. There it goes.
Jeffrey, the way you got killed. I mean, it's simple, but it's really, really. I mean, it's good.
Yeah, no, I thought my kill scene was really good as well. It's funny. One of my friends wrote me and it's like, it was great, but you didn't get a bloody death scene. Were you upset? And I was like, no, no. I thought it worked really well.
Mhm.
It was, you're on a tight schedule, obviously, so it's not like we had like a bunch of takes that we could do it on. So it was, um, yeah, but it only, I think we 4 takes on that, maybe. It
I
was,
Yeah,
don't
but
know if we did that.
Yeah.
we had a
I don't
quick
even know. It's
conversation.
probably 2 or 3 at least. But I mean, it's your death was one of those deaths where it was like we had to do it in a couple of different stages,
Mhm.
yeah.
in order to do it. But I will say this, and I won't say exactly what the death is for those who haven't seen it, but that's one of my favorite kills to do because it's always effective and it's really easy to pull off.
Hmm.
And admittedly, I'm sure watching this film, if you're a horror fan, like you caught how the movie's just chock full of references to other horror films, just the dialogue, visually, and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Jeffrey's death is one that I'll just admit it. I stole that death from the movie Hell Night, and I've done that kill in every movie that Eric and I have done, and even before that, I've used that kill like in every movie. It's just because I love it so much. And Hell
Nice.
Night's one of my favorite slasher films, so I was glad that Jeffrey got it. I mean, I know some people like you talk to them and they say, "Oh, I really wished I had a more um, elaborate, brutal, over the top kill." But to me, that kill is one of the more special ones because it's one that I love to use for every film, and that's the one that Jeffrey got. So I thought it
So
was perfect.
So after a while, I had to start talking to people before I'd kill them and be like, all right, I want to make sure I do this without hurting you. And that was one of the conversations I had with Jeffrey was like, all right, how much
oh yeah,
twist am I putting on this?
That's a good point. Yeah.
And he was
yeah,
like, don't twist too far. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. That makes
Yeah.
sense.
yeah.
The
Just
weird
don't
thing
break
I
was
don't know if
though
to
is
go to the chiropractor
Jesse
after that one, but
Jesse was having these conversations with everybody like when they were trying to use the bathroom, and they're like looking at him going, "Why are you in the stall with me?" But thankfully in real life, he's not a very intimidating guy, so you can
Yeah,
poop right next to him and you don't feel threatened at all.
but as a slasher villain, you never know when you're going to pop up. You could have just been getting into character, popping up wherever they don't. You would never expect the doctor to be in a stall in the bathroom. You never know, you know. So
yeah.
there's that. Um,
We actually have some bathroom photos that have not surfaced yet.
DVD extras.
Yeah.
Right.
I didn't
Right.
even know they existed until we got all the photos. It's Brandon and Jesse went into the bathroom and did a series of photos of, I'm assuming they were like, hey, killers have to go to the bathroom too. So it's him going in the bathroom, going up to a stall, using the urinal, and then washing his hands and leaving. It's really random, but it's pretty funny too.
He's adding a human side to the doctor.
Yeah, we never see that. That's
never, yeah.
One thing I think is really special is that it takes place in Owensboro, and it's a very because so many horror movies and just movies you see L.A., New York, Chicago, Kentucky, um, which I mean I've been through Kentucky. I've got friends in Lexington, Louisville, all that. You know, there's something special about Kentucky that I think really fits the setting of this movie. How special is it for you guys that you were able to keep this in that state and not makes it really stand out, I think.
Uh,
I mean, Eric,
Go ahead, bud.
you go.
I mean, it's just cool that one thing. I mean, there has always been a struggle for PJ and I. We are in the Bible Belt. I mean, but Kentucky,
Mm.
it's just, man, the film scene here has just really taken off in the last few years. And PJ and I have talked a million times. We're not going anywhere. We're staying here in Owensboro. So to get to film all this in our hometown, to bring people in like Dave and Felissa and Hannah and that Jeffrey guy. I mean, it's really cool filming here in Kentucky. I mean, and you've got everything. You've got cities, you've got woods. I mean, you've got everything here. I mean, luckily we haven't had to do a whole lot of stuff out in the woods or in the far country, but we have done a little bit. But it's been really cool filming here in Kentucky, and we've been lucky to get done what we can do here in our hometown, and we love being in Owensboro and using Owensboro as a focal point. PJ started that, but I just followed along with it because I mean, like him, I'm not going anywhere. I mean, Jeffrey won't let us sleep on his couch, so we can't afford hotels out in LA.
You
So
can sleep on my couch. We have to, both of you have to sleep on like one couch. I only have one couch. I don't like I have two couches. No, it is that's is another plus about working with these guys is I'm from Kentucky and it's just great. The funny thing is when Eric mentions the Bible Belt, it's there are areas in the state where they just don't want horror films being shot.
Hmm.
And the thing is there are so many horror films and horror fans that live in the state and grew up there. So it's always, you're trying to navigate with people and talk to them about, the value of horror. It's not just, yes, it's fun and it's entertaining and it doesn't always have meaning. You don't always have a deep meaning behind every horror film, but the people that watch them are watching them not because, they love to see people die. There's a lot of other psychological reasons like, healing and dealing with trauma in your life or
Mhm.
stuff that's going on in the world. So it's always interesting when you start having those conversations with people about horror films. So there's a stigma still in the business, even though it's so successful, the genre is, as far as getting kind of the respect it deserves. So, like when you get into certain parts of the country, it's just like, oh, we don't want this. We love that you're shooting a film, but we just publicly can't, support, having shooting a horror film here.
Sure.
Um, but yeah, it was really cool just to be in Owensboro and be around a bunch of horror nerds having a blast.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I remember years ago being driving through like the country and the woods of Wilmore, Kentucky, and just being like, "This is how horror movies start right here. There's no lights,
yeah,
middle of nowhere. There's no cell signal, and I'm gonna die." So, I mean, I've been through the middle of nowhere, Kentucky, and yeah, it fits the horror scene for sure. Um, Definitely.
I mean, Owensboro itself, I wouldn't say it's like a scary place. Wilmore
Right.
sounds far more terrifying. I've been in Eastern Kentucky, and there's some areas there that are pretty
Hmm.
scary compared to Owensboro. Um, but one of the things, like when I write the scripts, one of the things that I like to do is because we are from here, and I was born and raised, and I still live here. Um, when I watch horror films, I think this is for a lot of horror fans, like some of the biggest franchises and the most endearing films that you remember in terms of the genre, where they take place. You got Woodsboro, Camp Crystal Lake, Haddonfield. So when it comes to writing these scripts, I like to take where we are and incorporate those elements into the movie because I think in a lot of ways too, it by taking a very real place, even though it's kind of an alternate universe version of Owensboro, it grounds the movie a little bit because it is a very real place. And then
Hmm.
it's also my way of, kind of saying, hey, I'm from Owensboro. I'm proud to be here. And there are people who don't particularly care for horror. And even before Eric and I made New Fear's Eve, we went and did talks with like groups and things over a couple of years before we did New Fear's Eve, where one of the things that we were really pushing is like, even if horror is not your cup of tea, You're not supporting a genre by getting behind a project that's a horror film. You're supporting the hundreds of different types of artists that all come from a different walk of life, but they have a need to be creative. They have an ability to create, and and most of them probably won't get the opportunity to be able to do that unless those opportunities are opened up. So whether it's creating wardrobe or doing music or acting or just being a part of something that's bigger than yourself, that's what these endeavors really are. So the one big message that we're pushing is just because you support one of our projects doesn't mean that you have to love horror. You just have to love the arts. You have to love to support the people who are creative and allow them the venue and avenue to be creative. And I don't know if maybe somewhat that message started to sink in, but when it came time to make this movie, we had so much support from the community, from businesses to people jumping on board. I called in a lot of favors to get things to work to make this movie, because typically, like, if I write a script in the past, I write something where I'm like, I know we can do this because we have access to it. But there were a whole lot of stuff and like set pieces and scenes and things. I had no fucking idea how we were gonna make this happen. So when it came time during pre-production to pull all the resources together, I started making the phone calls, and we were getting yes after yes after yes. Absolutely. I'd love to be a part of it. And it was actually pretty incredible. And we filmed all over Owensboro, which is another thing we'd never really done before. This movie is the most Owensboro centric film we've ever done. So anybody who's, especially if you're from here, I mean, it's going to be a cool experience to be able to watch this movie, because you're going to see all these places because you're from here. And if you've never been to Owensboro, this is like a really great opportunity to be able to see what Owensboro looks like, because, like I said, we're all over the place.
Yeah. And then seeing just all of these people that you got in this movie, Jeffrey, Dave, Felissa, then you bring in people like Lily for it as well. Jesse, what was it? How did it feel being able to act on screen with all of these people, and a lot of them very well known in the horror genre as well? What was that like for you, being able to be on screen and act alongside them?
So I remember Hannah and Jason. So Jason Crow and Hannah Feynman. So they were in the party scene, and they're going over their lines. And people kept coming up and just jumping in the conversation and talking about uh, the movies that they were talking about, right? So that people would come up and start adding their 2 cents, and they were cool, and they were like, oh, cool, yeah, thanks. They were rehearsing their lines together, but they were doing it so smoothly that people thought they were having a natural
Mhm.
conversation. And I was watching this happen. I'm like, oh, that's how you do it. Because remember, I'm brand new. I've never acted
Mhm.
any. I was like, oh, that's how you do it. They're so smooth that people just assumed that they're having a conversation about these movies. And I mean, part of that, props to PJ, of course, for the writing of that scene, but like their interaction with each other made me like go, oh, that's a level that I'd like to aspire to, where they're just, you know, it's unrecognizable that they're running lines. And that was awesome. Um, Listening to uh, Ronnie, Ronnie Jonah, just come up with some wild stuff while I'm in the other room, like, oh, okay, that's kind of weird. Um, yeah, I won't get into details, but yeah, some things concerning one of my characters that I was like, oh boy, I better figure this out. Yeah, listening to her and Dave, man, Dave's an amazing actor. I mean, it was great to hear uh, how he flowed with his lines. It's just awesome.
Nice. Then
Yeah.
PJ, seeing just being able to work behind the camera with all of these just with all of these people in the cast and seeing them come together and really bringing, same question for you, Eric, both of you, bringing this to life, but seeing the people bringing it to life that did it. What was it like for you as the creators being able to put this into existence with everybody?
I mean, as I will, so as a writer, it is always it's insanely cool when you sit there and you write something out. I'm Jeffrey. I'm sure you understand this. It's like you create this whole world on paper and these people that don't exist. And then one day you show up on set and there's these flesh and blood individuals who have taken these people that never existed ever. And now suddenly here they are. And they're standing in front of you and they're saying this dialogue to each other that you wrote, but it's as if it's being said for the first time. And you just see these characters come to life. It's the craziest, most surreal feeling ever. And Eric and I got extremely lucky with the leads that we got. I mean, everybody who worked on the film, even all the way to like just the EMT roles, the police roles, like everybody did such a great job. But obviously, you need a core cast that's going to be able to carry the movie from opening to close. And with Lily, Matthew, and Turner, we got that in spades. And we didn't know them at all when we did auditions. They just showed up and tried out, and then they were all perfect for their roles. Same with Jesse. Like Jesse did so. I mean, I know he's like, oh, they told me I sucked whenever, but no, he did such a great job. It's like a role was written for him to give him more screen time, which actually worked out so well. He's more of a that's more of a main role, like in the second film. So, and then apart from that, you have Jeffrey and Dave and Felissa and Hannah. And when we had cast them, we knew they were going to be solid. Sorry, that's kind of an in joke. I say solid as in like they're good, right? And then one day Jeffrey's like, sometimes when you say it, it kind of sounds like you're like solid, solid. So, but no, so like Felissa and Dave and Hannah going into it, like when we cast them, we knew they were going to be able to do a good job. Like we knew they were going to carry their roles and give us exactly what they wanted. I mean, Jeffrey, I'll be honest, I'd never seen him act, but he really wanted the opportunity, especially like I remember you saying like all the roles I ever get are serious roles. And I want to do something that's different. I want something that's more comedic in nature. And that's exactly what he was got. And he came in and he fucking killed it. He was great. And it's that definitely that scene between him and Dave in the conference room, very memorable because you hold your own against Dave. So you did a phenomenal job. But I would be
he was
lying.
solid.
Yeah, and I would be lying, and I can't speak for Eric, but that first weekend was extremely stressful because we had to shoot. We had a day and a half to film everything, and it was 23 pages, including 10 death scenes. Because we brought in Jeffrey, Felissa, and Dave, and then all the Indiegogo contributors, so we had to get them on camera. And we had to shoot all their material in a day and a half. We would have had two technically, but we did this big party for everybody on Friday
the big party
night.
took a lot.
Yeah, and that was more for everybody who was involved. That gave everybody an opportunity to really kind of come in town and loosen up and have a great time. And I don't regret doing that, but I do remember like both Eric and I were walking around going, we need to be fucking shooting the movie right now. We don't need to be partying. We need to be shooting the movie right now.
That was more me. That was more me than
but I can say that we had never worked with name actors before, like people that were truly recognizable. So I was nervous. I tried not to act like I was nervous. I tried to act like I knew it. I was the fake it till you make it, but I was like on the inside, I was like, I cannot believe I'm standing here doing this right now. And it was it was incredible. It was a
PJ
good
and I got severely lucky, and we've always gotten really lucky with auditions. And there wasn't a person that came in, even Collins, one we haven't mentioned that we've never worked with before, and he came in, the jerk boyfriend.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Nick. I mean, we'd never worked with him. I mean, Lily came in, fulfilled what we needed. Matthew, Turner, and then you got Colin. There were so many people that came in that we'd never seen before. We've been here doing this for 10 years, and these people lived here, never auditioned before, and they come in this time with the exact roles that we need, and they came in and they did it and they kicked ass. And in the beginning, I fought PJ on Dave, Felissa, Jeffrey, Hannah, just from the financial standpoint. It's like, man, is this really going to bring us money in, or are they, or are they going to come in and is it going to be worth having them in? And I'm going to tell you what, the producing that even Felissa did in the beginning to get people to come be in a scene with them, and then Jeffrey coming in at the end and doing what he's done to help us secure getting with Cineverse and getting the film out there, and then them coming in and doing the acting they did and taking their roles and just nailing the shit out of them. And I've never Jeffrey and Dave. There is a if you watch it again, there's a scene where Dave and Jeffrey are doing their bickering there in the conference room. And there is a time, Jeffrey, when you look down and you're about to snicker, you can see you turn your head just a little bit. Your two's banter in that conference room, I laugh every time I watch it. Yeah, with wet from the blood. you know, I love that scene, but it's like everything just absolutely fell into place like it needed to and should have. And I hope we can do that again, man, because we got really lucky with the cast and the named people like Jeffrey and them that came in. It was unreal.
Yeah. There's a very specific scene in the movie. It happens during the party where they're talking about how there's no New Year's themed horror movies.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I kind of
that's the one.
envisioned that that's how this came up and you put it in the movie. Am I right on that?
Honestly, no.
Okay.
What's funny is, and it's so interesting because I've read some reviews from like people who've watched it who are legitimately upset about that scene in the movie. I like New Year's Evil. I like Bloody New Year. I don't think it's a great film, but I enjoy it. I enjoy these New Year's horror films, but I wrote that scene in for her character as someone who doesn't particularly like those movies. So it wasn't like whenever I guess it was just, it's one of those meta moments, right? Where you talk about horror films that exist within the universe of the similar film that's happening in the moment. So it's just one more way. It's just one more way when I wrote the script where I could get a chance where I could talk about Terror Train and Ghostbusters 2 and all these other films that like revolve around New Year's Eve or New Year's. So no, I don't dislike those movies, but it's funny that you bring that up because there are some people who are like legitimately upset that those movies got trashed, but I don't. I mean, is it divisive rhetoric? Sure, but I don't actually dislike those movies. It's a character who's saying these things, right?
Right.
That's and Jason, his character Lance, is refuting that. So it's like that was a moment that was the horror nerds talking about movies moment in the film.
And that was the conversation I was talking about where they were
Okay.
rehearsing it. That's the exact conversation.
Okay.
And people were
Okay.
jumping in to defend one of the movies because they didn't
Gotcha.
know they were rehearsing lines. Yeah.
But interestingly enough, the whole movie, the concept for it just came out of the title. That's how the whole thing came to be. The title popped into my head one day while I was driving. Threw the idea at Eric. He said,
Yeah, yeah, he did.
"Go the." Yeah, he was like, "Go the fuck away. We're trying to make this other movie because we were like right in the middle of shooting another film." And later on, I pulled it off the shelf and fleshed it out and came up with it. But it really didn't have anything to do with that. It's. I think it's awesome that you kind of put those dots together. Like, well, maybe this is how this was actually the genesis
Yeah.
of the movie. I could see where you could like derive that, but really, it just came out of the title.
Well, it's like with all the Easter eggs you have in it, even like I put it in my review, like one of the characters is Harry Warden. Um, the stalking like Michael Myers, the Saw style kill with the guy's, ties, stuff like that. Like I could totally see how that would be something you kind of threw in there as kind of an
Yeah.
underlying, you know what I mean? In a lot of ways, it's kind of like a love letter to horror in a lot of ways, which is there's something new you catch every single time you watch it. Um, but um, as we get ready to wrap up, when you sit down and look at what this movie is, when it's all said and done, Jesse, you're playing two roles, so you're pulling double duty in this. The fact that it came out as good as it did, what does this mean to you guys individually as the people that are in it? To have it out and is received as well as it has been. I mean, number one on Screambox. I mean, it's doing very well. People are just loving it.
Well, I'll jump in. Everybody was quiet. Man, I'm gonna. It's gonna sound odd, but it's just to me the gamble paid off because PJ and I are always trying to go to that next level, and that's what we're looking for the next film. If we, we're hoping New Year's Eve too, so we know what we have to do to step up from this film. But we want to go to that next level. So, and we did that, and it's just I lost my train of thought there for a second. It's late, so that's my excuse, and I'm older than everybody here. So, but I just it meant a lot to me, man. All the hard work that went into this, the weekends, that first weekend, I think aged me 5 years. From the lack of sleep and the stress of trying to get all that done in one weekend and not having to pay to get everybody back for that one weekend because that would have killed us financially. It's just surreal, man. It's unbelievable when I watched it for the first time with everything done. Um, the acting, the colorization, the sound, the score, the jokes that work, the kills that PJ come up with. I mean, and everybody, it's just amazing. The group of people that got together and made this for the amount of money we did and the time we did, it's amazing.
Um, I'll keep mine short and sweet. I grew up on a steady diet of horror films. I'm a child of the genre, particularly slasher films. I always told myself one day I was gonna make my own something that, a slasher that had my voice in it. And I feel like I've done that with this film and the amount of support that it got to get to come together. People like Jeffrey who are in the industry, and especially Jeffrey, who's championed this from the beginning when he read the script. I mean, he was technically a part of the project before even Felissa and Dave and Hannah or anybody else. So, um, to hear them so excited about this thing that I'd written, and then to watch it come to life, and so many people come together and rally around it to bring it to life. I mean, it's one of those things where I don't have $1 million. I'm not working in the industry. My net worth is next to nothing. But if I died tomorrow, I'd be fine. Hopefully, I won't die tomorrow. But I will have left feeling like I actually accomplished something because I really did get to do, like you said, that love letter to the horror genre. There is more story to tell with this movie. Now, whether or not we'll get a chance to tell it has yet to be seen. But you're not wrong. So far, everybody who's watched it, it's really resonated with them. And hopefully, we get to do more.
I'm just happy I could deliver something that people think is cool, man. I think it's fantastic that I could go and do something where no one even sees my face, but you can you can tell by my body language that it's me doing it. I mean, that's just it's awesome, and I appreciate everybody who enjoyed the film and who liked the Doctor as a killer. Hopefully, he can come back again. So
Yeah, and I just, I'm like, again, I was a fan of PJ's before, it's always great to when you find like independent filmmakers, especially from your home state, that are doing stuff, and can do your part in helping them and to have it come out. Like I mean, again, like when I read it, I could see where it could go. Like so I wasn't surprised by how it turned out at all. And to see it with an audience for the first time, again, it was just such a great experience. And I hope, I always appreciate fans who are, the genre fans because they're just so, loyal and they really do support, which is great. And I'm really glad that this film has um, gotten the good response that it has, because it's not always the case on a lot of the stuff I work on. I shouldn't say a lot of this stuff, some of the stuff, but so it was really nice to see people kind of get, this film for what it is, and I just can't wait to see, more, and I can't wait to see what everybody does next. I'm really excited.
Jeffrey, did it kind of take you back to kind of your early days when you had an idea and trying to get people on board with it when you got the script and saw this is really good? Um, they just need somebody to really get behind it, believe in it, and people to help bring it to life. Did it kind of take you back to your early days?
I mean, it took my early days and my nowadays. I mean, it's funny, like it's just with the way the business is, and how it's changed over the years. Like, I mean, when I grew up, it's like, well, not when I grew up, but when I was working at New Line, it was like the golden age of cinema. Like, if they loved a script, they would just buy it and then finance it and get the cast. And now, you go out with the script and you're dealing with people running studios that are business people and tech people and aren't art. They don't love film like
Mhm.
a lot of the heads of the studios did in the old days. I'm not talking about every single studio, of course, but now you have to take a project in with the director and cast attached and, hopefully distribution set up. And it's like, well, that's what used to be your job. So, um, it did take me back to what it was like back in the day, but it's also kind of parallel to what's going on now. So anytime that I can, you know, champion something I believe in, I'm so happy to do it.
Yeah.
Um,
And there is a lot more story to tell here. I mean, the
oh
way the
yeah.
movie ended is it's a cliffhanger. It's there's a lot that you can do with the New Year's Eve too. Just the fact that the doctor is still did not get caught. He's still it kind of takes you back to the classics. Like I really feel like you guys have created another horror slasher icon, and that's really hard to do nowadays. So I mean, there's a lot of story that you guys could tell with the sequel, and I think you guys can easily pull that off. Eric's back in the waiting room. Um, finally, for people who haven't had a chance to watch it yet, it is out. It is streaming. Where can people find New Fear's Eve?
Yeah, so it's on Screambox. It's also on Fandango at Home, Amazon Prime, Plex, Roku channel, and a slew of other platforms. So if you have any of those, definitely check it out. If you aren't a subscriber to Screambox,
They do
I
have a
think it's
deal.
six. Yeah, it's $6.99, and that's per month. So you don't just get New
So,
Fear's Eve, but you get other films too to check out. But you definitely want to get Screambox for New Fear's Eve, and then the bonus is all those other movies that come
yes.
along with it.
That's what
So,
I would do.
uh,
I would get it specifically just for that and then see what else
Right.
is on there. You know.
Screambox actually has a lot of really like good quality films. They've got a lot of the the Italian horror films and things. There's a lot of good stuff on there. If you haven't checked out Screambox, definitely do it.
Yeah.
What you're saying is if you have any ability to stream anything on any platform, you can find New Fear's Eve because it is everywhere now.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's no
presently-
excuse to not see this movie.
It's presently still sitting at number 4 on Screenbox.
Yeah. It has
Nice.
stayed within the top 5 since it came out. It was trending at number 1
Mhm.
for almost 2 weeks, but for the almost entire month that it's been out, it has trended in their top 5.
And with how
Yeah.
often movies are coming out and getting released and going up, like it's impressive that it's staying in that top 5. I mean that says a lot. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
only don't watch. I mean, if you hate dildos or you hate blood or you hate naughty words, you may want to stay away from it. But
Naughty.
if you like any of those three things, you should check it out.
if you like blood coming out of the mouth when somebody gets murdered,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is
And if you like
And-
dildos going into, okay, we won't say, no spoilers.
Yeah.
Or if you
Well,
like
I'll
dirty,
say this. If you're excited to see, if you haven't seen the movie and you're excited to see what we can do with a dildo, or you have seen it and you're excited about what we did with a dildo, just wait until you see what I have an idea for in the sequel. Because I have a kill that I think is going to top that.
oh. And if you want to see a piece of shit boss get what's coming to him, good
Oh, hell
God.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Holy
And
shit.
if you want to see Jesse without the fireworks,
Oh, without that,
Can we get the
without
fireworks
that
one more
grim,
time?
Yeah.
I think you have to do the thumbs up.
Oh, it worked.
I got it figured out, baby. I got it now.
That
I need
was
to be on
already
all
set
the
up.
Zoom.
Don't lie to us. You had that
Nope.
set up. Don't lie.
No.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Is there anything you guys want to add before we wrap up? It has been so much fun spending the evening with you guys. Is there anything anybody wants to add about the movie New Year's Eve? Anything you guys have that you guys are working on right now that you guys kind of want to plug that you want to
We
talk
are.
about?
PJ and I are both producing the Barn 3, and you may see us in the Barn 3. And then he has some other projects he can tell you about, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm also producing a movie called The Last Sleepover. It's also a slasher that has a pretty cool killer in it. And I'm getting ready to get back on set with them so we can finish out the movie. And then there's another one that I'm helping produce. It's actually shooting out in LA. And ironically, both of these, it's called Halloween, and both of these movies have Felissa in them.
Nice.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Dude,
Um,
Felissa is top notch, man. I had to drag her into a bathroom like 8 times. She was like, "Let's go."
And that was when we weren't filming.
Yeah, I don't even
Yeah.
know. Nobody even had a camera.
It was a Tuesday.
Plus, if you're watching this, you know that's not true. I did stand-up comedy the other day and ate some shit. So
That's how you got to start, though.
that's it.
No,
That's it.
seriously.
Yeah,
Like,
hey,
you got to just get up there and do it. That's awesome.
fell right on my face. It was beautiful.
Jeffrey, anything that you've got coming up that you want to plug or talk about at all?
You know what? I've got a couple of things that I'm producing. I'm excited. Well, I produced a film called The Other that I was very proud of that came out this year, also right before New Year's Eve. That's available on video on demand as well. And I'm producing a couple other things, but I've got to kind of see how things shake out with them. But I should have some news in the next couple of weeks, actually. So I'm not a horrible segue into following me on social media, but if you want to follow me on Instagram or X, my handle is Jeffery A. Reddick, and I definitely will be putting updates on there. But I also support like films that I'm involved with, or that my friends do, or anything that I run across that I think is cool. I just like to share that. So it's a very, horror-y site. My profiles are very horror-y, unless you look into my search engines, and then it's all like half naked guys. But what's in my actual feed is mostly horror.
Yeah, he's a huge whore on Instagram.
Horror. Horror.
That's what I said.
Okay. All right.
Guys, thank you so much for spending your evening with me. Thank you for the movie. PJ, thanks for reaching out, sending it over.
Absolutely.
Guys, thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Absolutely. You made my New Year's with this movie, and you made my night with this interview.
That's awesome.
Guys,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much, and good luck on everything you guys have coming up.
All right. Thank you so much,
Hopefully,
Reggie.
if we talk again, I'll have video work.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you thought New Year's Eve was terrifying,
That's right.
I'll put a picture on
Oh,
the
yeah.
thumbnail for the interview.
There you go. That'll work.
Awesome.
Awesome, guys.
Have a great
Thank you,
night.
man.